Jai Hind everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel, which is Explore Yourselves, Banking and General Knowledge, etc. Today I will discuss interview questions and answers related to the internal promotion examination for banks. Welcome to part 10 of my Path Through the Corner Office 2025-2026 series, where I simplify bank promotion examination interviews with practical questions and answers samples to help you climb the banking career ladder faster. Interview questions and answers from MSME policy. Now some interview questions and answers from basic concepts and policy framework. What is the objective of the MSME policy of the bank? The objective is to provide a comprehensive framework for lending to MSMEs in line with RBI, MOMSME and Government of India guidelines ensuring uniformity, adequate credit flow, risk management and inclusive growth. Now some interview questions and answers from MSME definition and classification. Which act governs MSME classification in India? Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development MSMED Act 2006. What is the basics of MSME classification as per revised norms? Classification is based on investment in plant and machinery or equipment and annual turnover. Define a micro enterprise. Investment up to rupees 2.50 crore and turnover up to rupees 10 crores. Define a small enterprise. Investment up to rupees 25 crores and turnover up to rupees 100 crores. Define a medium enterprise. Investment up to rupees 125 crores and turnover up to rupees 500 crores. What is Udyam registration? Is Udyam registration mandatory for MSME borrowers? Yes, Udyam registration certificate is mandatory for MSME classification and PSL benefits. Are retail and wholesale trade units treated as MSMEs? Yes, but only for the limited purpose of priority sector lending. What is the status of Udyam Assist certificate holders? IMEs holding Udyam Assist certificate are treated as micro enterprises for PSL. Now some interview questions and answers from priority sector and targets. Are MSME loans eligible for priority sector lending? Yes, all eligible MSME loans qualify under priority sector lending norms. What is the overall PSL target for banks? 40% of ANBC or credit equivalent of balance sheet exposure, whichever is higher. What is the sub target for micro enterprises? 7.5% of ANBC or credit equivalent amount, whichever is higher. What growth targets are prescribed for MSE lending? 20% of YOY growth in credit, 10% growth in number of micro accounts, and 60% of MSE credit to micro enterprises. Now some interview questions and answers from loan application and processing. Is acknowledgement of MSME loan application mandatory? The answer is yes. All MSME loan applications must be acknowledged with a running serial number. What are the disposal time norms or MSME loan applications? Up to rupees 10 lakhs for 7 days, rupees 10 lakh to rupees 5 crore 14 days, above rupees 5 crore 30 days. Who can reject MSME loan applications of SC or ST borrowers? Only the state or zonal level credit committee. Is collateral required for MSE loans up to rupees 10 lakh? No. RBI has mandated collateral free loans up to rupees 10 lakh. What is a composite loan? A single window loan covering both working capital and term loan requirements. Now some interview questions and answers from credit appraisal and assessment. Which policy governs MSME credit appraisal? Board approved credit policy along with MSME policy guidelines. What is CBR? Commercial Bureau Rank is a default prediction score for commercial entities on a scale of 1 to 10. Is CBR a substitute for internal credit rating? No, it is only a screening tool and not a substitute for internal rating. What is CBS used for? Consumer Bureau score is used as a go or no go criterion for individual borrowers. What is the usual tenure for MSME term loans? Generally 7 to 10 years, up to 15 years for infrastructure and select products. Now some interview questions and answers from pricing, exposure and margin. How are MSME loans priced? As per the bank's approved rate of interest policy linked to RBLR. What is the single borrower exposure limit? 20% of eligible capital base extendable by 5% with board approval. What is the group exposure limit? 25% of bank's eligible capital base. What are the general margin norms for MSME loans? Fund based 15% to 50%, non fund based minimum 20%. Now some interview questions and answers from guarantee and subsidy schemes. What is CGTMSE? Credit Guarantee Fund Trust for Micro and Small Enterprises providing collateral free guarantee cover. What is CLCSS? Credit Linked Capital Subsidy Scheme offering 15% subsidy for technology upgradation. What is SCLCSS? A special subsidy scheme for SC or ST MSEs under National SC or ST Hub. Now some interview questions and answers from monitoring and MIS. What system is used for MSME or application tracking? Central Registration of Loan Applications and CRM Next. What is CRM Next? A lead management system for capturing, tracking, and updating MSME loan leads. Why is structured monitoring of MSME credit important? To ensure growth, timely disposal, compliance with RBI norms, and early stress detection. Now, some interview questions and answers from institutional framework. What are SMECCs? SME centers established for centralized processing and MSME business development. What is the role of specialized MSME branches? To provide focused credit and services to MSME borrowers with specialized expertise. Now, some interview questions and answers from stress, revival, and rehabilitation. Which framework governs revival of stressed MSMEs? Framework for Revival and Rehabilitation of MSMEs 2015. What is SMA classification? Special mention accounts used to identify incipient stress before NPA. Up to what loan limit is the rehabilitation framework applicable? MSME accounts with aggregate exposure up to rupees 25 crores. Now some interview questions and answers from digital and government portals. What is Jan Samarth portal? A national portal for credit-linked government schemes under MSME, retail and agriculture. Are Mudra loans processed through e-platform? Yes, Mudra loans are mandatorily processed through the e-platform. Now some interview questions and answers from due diligence and compliance. Why is due diligence critical in MSME lending? Due to single owner businesses, limited documentation, and higher credit risk. Name key due diligence checks for MSME borrowers: KYC, CIC reports, PAN, ROC search, bank statements, and market reports. Now, some interview questions and answers from MSME products and schemes. What is BOI Star MSME Welcome Offer? A scheme to onboard quality MSME accounts with concessional pricing. What is Udyami Vanita scheme? A scheme for women entrepreneurs with interest concession up to 1%. What is Start DigiBiz Loan? A digital lending product for GST registered MSMEs with simplified assessment. Now some interview questions and answers from conceptual and practical questions. Why is MSME lending important for banks? MSMEs drive employment, GDP growth, exports, and financial inclusion. How does cluster based lending reduce risk? Through common infrastructure, industry knowledge, and better monitoring. What is the significance of ZED certification? It promotes quality and sustainability and may attract interest concessions. Why is timely disposal of MSME applications critical? To ensure business continuity, regulatory compliance, and customer satisfaction. How does e-platform improve MSME lending efficiency? By reducing TAT, automating assessment, and enabling straight-through processing. Now some practical interview questions and answers. What systems are used for monitoring MSME loan applications? MSME loan applications are monitored through CPTS for tracking and CRM Next for lead management and customer communication. Why is MSME MIS so important for senior management? It helps monitor credit growth, disposal timelines, PSL compliance, and early stress indicators, enabling timely corrective action. How does the bank ensure transparency in MSME loan processing? By issuing acknowledgements for applications, adhering to stipulated TAT norms, and displaying MSME MIS quarterly as per RBI guidelines. Is takeover of MSME accounts advisable? Yes, provided the account is standard, pricing is viable, and takeover is done strictly as per the bank's approved takeover policy. What is co-lending and why is it relevant today? Co-lending is joint financing with NBFCs to improve credit outreach, leverage fintech capabilities, and share credit risk. How do fintech tie-ups help MSME lending? They enable faster appraisal through data analytics, GST, and MCA data integration, reducing turnaround time. When should stress in MSME accounts be identified? Stress should be identified at an incipient stage before the account slips into NPA using SMS signals and conduct monitoring. Explain the corrective action available for stressed MSMEs. Corrective action plan under the revival and rehabilitation framework through a committee based approach. Can a borrower request rehabilitation voluntarily? Yes, MSME borrowers can voluntarily opt for the rehabilitation framework if they foresee stress. What alternative credit products support MSMEs? Merchant credit card, general credit card, and TREDS for receivable funding financing. How does TREDS benefit MSMEs? It improves liquidity by enabling discounting of receivables without additional collateral. Briefly explain Mudra loans. Mudra loans under PMMY provide credit up to rupees 20 lakhs to non-farm MSMEs under Shishu, Kishore, Tarun and Tarun Plus categories. What is Stand Up India scheme? It provides loans from rupees 10 lakh to rupees 1 crores to SC or ST or women entrepreneurs for greenfield enterprises. What do you understand by ethical MSME lending? Ethical lending ensures transparency, fair pricing, timely decisions, and responsible credit practices. How will you improve MSME business in your branch? By adopting a cluster approach, using digital platforms, reducing TAT, and strengthening post sanction monitoring. How do you balance growth and asset quality? Through prudent appraisal, regular monitoring, and early identification of stress signals. What is Udyam registration? Why is Udyam registration important for banks? It ensures correct MSME classification, eligibility for PSL, and regulatory compliance. Final question. Why is MSME sector critical for the bank? MSMEs drive employment, inclusive growth, and provide a diversified, sustainable credit portfolio. As a branch head, how will you ensure MSME applications are disposed within TAT? By registering all applications immediately in CPTS, tracking daily pendency, and prioritizing MSME proposals as per RBI timelines. What action will you take if an MSME borrower avoids submitting financials on time? I will engage the borrower proactively, assess conduct through account operations, and initiate midterm review or corrective measures if required. How will you identify early warning signals in MSME accounts? Through irregular operations, frequent development, stock statement delays, SMA alerts, and deterioration in cash flows. Suppose an MSME unit is viable but facing temporary stress. What will you do? I will examine viability and initiate the revival and rehabilitation framework at the incipient stress stage. Is collateral free lending risky? Risk exists, but it is mitigated through CGTMSE coverage, proper appraisal, and close monitoring. How does CGTMSE benefit the bank? It provides credit guarantee, reduces credit risk, and supports collateral free MSME lending. What precautions are required while taking over MSME accounts? Accounts must be standard, conduct satisfactory, pricing viable, and takeover done strictly as per policy. How will you improve recovery in MSME NPAs? Through early engagement, restructuring were viable, and legal action only as a last resort. Explain your approach towards women entrepreneurs. I will promote schemes like Udyami Vanita, ensure timely credit, and provide advisory support. What role does digital lending play in MSME growth? It reduces turnaround time, improves transparency, and enables database appraisal. How will you ensure ethical practices in MSME lending? By following fair practice code, transparent pricing, and avoid mis-selling. What challenges do MSMEs face today? Delayed payments, rising input costs, working capital pressure, and compliance burden. What will what value will you add after promotion? I will focus on quality credit growth, compliance, and mentoring my team in MSME business development. Why should we promote you when MSME NPAs are rising across banks? Rising NPAs require stronger appraisal and monitoring. My focus will be on early warning signals, structured reviews, and responsible growth rather than aggressive expansion. If targets conflict with credit quality, what will you prioritize? Credit quality. Sustainable growth protects the bank's capital and reputation. An MSME borrower pressures you for faster sanction, ignoring gaps. What will you do? I will follow due diligence strictly. Speed cannot replace prudence in MSME lending. Is CGTMSE a substitute for proper appraisal? No, CGTMSE is a risk mitigant, not a replacement for appraisal and monitoring. Why do many MSME accounts fail after 1 year? Due to overestimation of cash flows, diversion of funds, and inadequate monitoring. Would you ever decline a priority sector loan? Yes, if the proposal is not viable and does not meet policy norms. What is the biggest weakness of MSME lending? Dependence on promoter and sensitivity to market volatility. How will you ensure ethical lending under pressure? By strictly following policy, fair practice code, and transparent communication. One sentence on your leadership style: policy driven, risk aware, and people oriented. Thank you very much for your patience. Please like and share this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel.